everybody, it's Kelly with Garden Whisperer. If you're unfamiliar with what I do, I design flower beds and garden beds for homeowners where they can either install it themselves or they can hire a landscaper to install it for them according to the design plans. So this is part 2 of my top deer resistant flowers, shrubs, and trees. This is my second flower bed that I've been working on. Now, and this is under this big tree here. Now, these rocks are not going to stay here. This is just temporary, but they're like the coolest, prettiest rocks. Look at them. They've got like peachy orange, gray, green in them. They're just really pretty. So these were all on my yard, and I don't know if they came naturally from the area because all of those rocks in that flower bed, there was like a huge pile of them back here, and I rolled all of these to over here, and then the other flower bed on the other side of the yard had more of these rocks, but I could not roll them. They were massive. So I had the landscaper take his little, not excavator, what's the other thing? I forget what it's called, but with the bucket. And he was able to pick them up. Or with the claw. No, yeah, it was an excavator, but he picked it up with the claw, I think. I think so. Anyway, so, and he moved them to the other flower bed for me, so. But anyway, so going back to this, and these are all going to get moved. I think I'm going to put them when this whole area is done next to the walkway here. I may put some there, like, maybe like 3 of them in one spot and 3 of them in another spot. I don't know. We'll figure it out. But anyway, I just thought they're like the prettiest rocks. So anyway, so here's the other, this is still in progress. As you can see, the natural ferns are growing in. We get tons of them out here. So you can see those are all filling in. And I actually think that they have like underground, I don't have to call the rhizomes, just like little, oh, I forget what they're called. Anyway, but they grow underground. And if you don't get those out, they will keep popping up new foliage. So it's crazy. It's like so hard to get rid of them. But anyway, not that I want to, but in certain spots I don't want them. So, like, I think they've actually started to grow out into this flower bed, which I didn't really want, but I'm going to leave it for now and see what happens. But anyway, and of course we have some more ajuga all along. Now, I lost some of them in the winter, and I don't know, like a bunch of them over here. There's still some growing, but I don't know if because we had no snow, the deer decided to eat them, because they'll eat anything in the winter. Or they just couldn't handle the freezing temps because we had a lot of like freeze and thaw. So it's possible, but I'm not worried because they will just start coming back. There's more there. But yeah, the ajuga, highly deer resistant. And if you saw my other video, this is called Silver Beauty because it has variegated foliage and there's a pretty little bloom there. But they will eventually be filling in this whole entire area. I did like all over there, like all down here, and it goes around, and when the ferns fill in, it's kind of goes like that. So that's where I planted them, and I'm hoping, here we go, we got another one popping up. So I'm hoping they just do their thing this year and really start to get bigger, but because I transplanted all of these last fall, I think it was. But anyway, so ajuga, highly deer resistant. Here we have the blue zinger carex grass, and I like it's like a silvery blue or a green silvery blue. It's very pretty, and my camera actually makes it look like it's brighter than it really is, but it's still really pretty. Goes nicely with the blue of the ajuga. And then I have over here, and this was a free plant. This is my Japanese forest grass. Like I said, it was free, so it's still, there's a bug, there's a spider hanging off my phone. But anyway, they're really slow growing. So like I said, this was free, that's why it's so tiny. So I was like, I'll take a free plant any day. So it's going to take time for that to grow in, but the foliage is really pretty already. As you can see, it's like a variegated, limey, yellowy, chartreusey kind of color. Very pretty. And that's supposed to be deer resistant. They have not touched it either. And then I planted these. These are Spanish bluebells. They're starting to fill in. They're starting to grow in. We've got another one right there. And they're all along here. Now, I only bought a few of them. And then there's some in between the rock. Because I want to see if they're really truly deer resistant. So far, they have not touched them. But that doesn't mean they won't. So I'm just going to wait it out. But these are pink and blue flowers. So we'll see what happens with those. Now, here's the crazy funny thing. I can't even believe this. I bought Lily of the Valley plants, and they have really pretty little, like, bell-shaped flowers. And I planted them in this area, and they didn't do anything last spring. So I was like, all right, maybe I just got like a dud batch. But honestly, I'm thinking this is them. There's like all these, like, here's another one. Here's another one. I'm pretty sure this is them. Let's see, where else? I know there's more. There's like 8 or 9 of them. There's another one. There's another one. Where's the others? There's one there. And there's one there. And there's another one over here. So I think that's them. Oh, and there's another one here. So I truly think that that's them, because I did plant it in this area. I just don't remember how many I planted. But if that's the case, I'm going to leave them and see what happens. And if that's the case, I'm going to have all of these plants here, which will be fabulous, because I really thought I lost them, or they were like a dud batch. So they say those are deer resistant. The deer have not touched this yet. They will nibble on any sort of foliage they can find, and they haven't touched it yet, knock on wood. So we'll see what happens with that. And then here, I also thought I lost this. This is my bleeding heart, or otherwise known as Dicentra. And something had dug a hole in this area last fall, and I was like, I hope the squirrels or whatever didn't dig it up and like eat it, because sometimes they'll eat bulbs and stuff like that. But no, it came back and it's doing well. I don't see any blooms on it yet or anything, but it put on a lot of new growth, a lot bigger than it was last spring. And they go dormant, I believe, in the summer. They kind of die back then. So I don't know when I'm going to get blooms, but I'm just glad that there's a lot of new foliage on here, and it got a lot bigger. So that's a good thing. So I'm glad about that. And I have yet to take this little guy out of its cage because it did, the deer nibbled on it just a little bit in the fall. So I covered it right away, and I planted it a little too late, but it did survive the winter. So I'm really happy about that. And as you can see, all of the like yellowy color, that is new foliage popping up, and that is where I removed a lot of the leaves that had winter damage. They were like all brown and dried out. So you want to take those off and cut back anything that's dead. And it's putting on all the new growth again. So that's awesome. So I may take this out soon and see if it really is deer resistant. But the great thing is the morons, I don't know why, they've been leaving, like not really coming in my yard. They go around the perimeter. Sometimes I'll see them, but maybe it's because I keep chasing them and yelling them and chasing them out of my yard. But usually that doesn't deter them, but apparently it's been working, so I don't know. Or it could be they just don't like my plants, because a lot of the stuff that I have here, they do not like. So I don't know. And that's one of them, the Dicentra, the mountain elf, or mountain laurel is what it's called. I have yet to see if it really is, but like I said, when I planted it last year, they nibbled on it, because they will try anything if it's newly planted. So I'm going to take it out shortly, just giving it a little more time to get on some new growth. And the Dicentra is definitely, they just don't touch it, which is fabulous. And then we have my Japanese painted fern. Look at that pretty coloring. It's got like purple stems with like blue silvery foliage. It's just so pretty. So this is actually going to get like 6 feet wide. It's going to be big. It's called Godzilla. So they did get it this last year. So far, knock on wood, they're not touching it. But, I don't know. Because they don't like the wild ferns. So I wasn't understanding why they kept going after that last year. But finally had to cover it after like the 3rd time. But I took the cover off this year, and it's growing. They haven't touched it, so I don't know. And then we have 2 little foxglove that are coming back this year. So we'll see if I get blooms out of those, because I don't even know. I planted them last year, but I don't know I know one of them had produced blooms. So I don't know. We'll see what happens. Foxglove, though, highly deer resistant. They don't touch it. And then over here we have, this is a variegated Solomon seal. As you can see, it's just a little bit of variegation on the edges of the leaves. And then, as you can see, the little white flowers are starting, and they're going to open up. Real pretty. They do not touch this. The only time they will touch it is towards fall, but by that time, they only nibble on it a little bit, but by that time, it's dying back for the season anyway. So it doesn't even matter if they chew on it, because you're like, yeah, whatever, it'll come up next year. This one has more variegation on it. So it's real pretty. See pretty white flowers. So that is Solomon seal. Variegated Solomon seal. And then I had transplanted my Polemonium Jacob's Ladder over here. Highly deer resistant. They don't touch it. Produces pretty blue flowers. But look at that variegation. Very pretty. I love variegated plants. And then they also go really nicely with the blue zinger grass. And then I do spray these, but they pretty much don't touch them anyway. Because if I spray stuff and they really want to eat it, they'll eat it anyway. But I spray it with my cayenne peppermint oil spray, which helps, but they kind of leave it alone. So these are still growing. I just planted these last year, and they're kind of like beat up from the rain. We've had so much rain in the past few days, but they're going to get about 12 inches wide, and they're low growing. They're not going to get too much taller than this, I don't think. I think it's like, oh God, I'm trying to remember, 8 inches, 10 inches? I'd have to look it up again. I don't remember. But anyway, I think I wanted to buy more of them because I think they're so pretty. It's like a buttercream yellow. And my camera does not do the color justice. But they are highly deer resistant. Like I said, they really don't touch them. But I wanted to buy more, but they're out of stock right now. So eventually, after like 2-3 years, they can be divided. So if they don't have any more in stock, I could just divide them in the next year or two and get more plants that way. So, but I definitely want to plant more of them. But this is, I think I should have put the I should have told you the name of this too. These are, I think it's Primula Ballerina Cream Primrose. They come in different colors. They have like a purpley blue, I think maybe a pink. I bought these on Bluestone Perennials, and like I said, the yellow ones, the cream ones are out of stock right now, but I think those are actually going to be shorter than the grass, so I kind of wish I put the grass in the back and the primrose in the front, but we'll see what happens. I can always transplant the grass, but as you can see, the grass is starting to put on underground little, spreading by underground rhizomes or whatever they grow on. I can't think of it right now. My brain is fried. But, so this flower bed is in progress, but those are more of my top deer-resistant plants. So they just don't touch these, which is great. We'll see what happens with the fern, foxglove they don't touch, the dicentra, bleeding heart they don't touch, the ajuga. We'll see what happens with little elf man over there. And we'll see what happens with the bluebells and the lily of the valley plants, because they say those are deer resistant, and they don't touch the Japanese forest grass. So that is for this flower bed, and it's going to be an ongoing process with this. I'm going to be adding more stuff as time goes on. Oh, and the other thing, the Solomon seal will eventually spread on their own, and I believe the lily of the valley may too. Maybe the Spanish bluebells will too. I don't know. I have to look that up. I don't recall if I saw that or not, but so we'll see. If I get lily of the valley plants from those, I'm going to be so excited, because I really thought it was like a dud batch. So anyway, so that's it. Like I said, this is an evolving flower bed. I still have tons more to plant in here. This one is actually, I think, almost bigger than that one, and that's going to be the part 3 video of my deer resistant plants. You can see I have some things covered, but I'll explain that to you then. And yeah, so one thing at a time. So it's evolving, and this year I'm going to be doing the tree trunks. Those are getting excavated. So I just have to keep on trucking, guys. So that's it. So that is the second flower bed of deer-resistant plants that I have in here that they do not touch for the most part. They really don't, actually. so far so good. Like I said, I just want to wait to see when the lily of the valley and the bluebells get bigger, and when I uncage the elf to see if those three are really truly deer resistant. But so far they have not touched the foliage that is popping up, so that's a win. Alright, so that's it for today's video, guys. If you like this video, please like and subscribe. And if you're interested in hiring my design services, you can reach me at www.the-garden-whisper.com. Until next time, guys, happy gardening. I'll talk to you soon. Bye.